Welcome back, guys, to what promises to be one of the most difficult episodes I've ever done. And after the last few episodes, that's kind of saying something. And the problems are all in the Chudley Valley. Here we come. I love this view as you come over the top here. It's kind of awesome. Look at that, beautiful. All right, let me show you the problems. Let's crank up the industry and let's. What do I want? No, I want the signals so you can kind of see the lines. So we currently have we've got three kind of main lines running through the Chudley Valley. We've got the main freight line going through here. I suppose I could put this on so you can actually see the colours of the lines. So we've got the steel and grain being shipped up here to go to the plastics factory up here. The grain goes up here. The steel goes to here along with the plastic from here. But we've also got the Chudley goods and fuel lines which run all the way up to Aspatria. And then on this side of the valley we've got the food. We're shipping cattle up this line. And then it crosses over and goes up to Aspatria. And then we've got the passenger line which runs down the middle, but we're not too worried about that at the moment. So yeah, originally what I was going to do was route these lines down this side of Chudley, have a station somewhere in here, somehow get the lines coming up here. But the problem is, I'm then going to have two major trucking lines. With the plastic and with the steel, and that's going to mean that we get these kind of conga lines of trucks, which I got to say I really don't like. So I've had a bit of a rethink, and we're going to do things slightly differently. We're going to have two freight lines. So how is this going to work? Well, is this going to work? That's more the question. Is this going to work? Let's start knocking some stuff down, I guess. Now, the first thing I want to deal with is the Aspatria line. This is the goods line, and I guess this is the fuel line. Yeah. And what I want is for both of those to get the hell out of the station. Yes, go on, get out. Get out. There we go. Right. Now, what I can do is knock this line down and push all the trains, right back up to the top. So let's get that done before we do anything else. The reason I want to get rid of this is because I have got stuff that I want to show you, including I have found the coolest place to put in a spiral viaduct. Now, you remember in the last episode I said what are they called? And apparently they've got several names. There isn't one name that they go by. They're called either loops or spirals or helixes. The helix one tends to be mainly amongst modelers, so model train sets. They tend to call them helixes. The probably the most famous is the I can't remember what it's called. BRUSIO, the BRUSIO spiral viaduct. And that thing is freaking awesome. That's in Switzerland. Right, almost. God. You suddenly realise how long these lines are when you start doing this. Okay, what I'm planning on doing is actually having Aspatria's freight station around the back and having two freight lines, one of which is going to go this side. So it's actually going to go round here, round the back of here. There's going to be a station, so no truck line. Then there's going to be a station for the machine and tools factory. There'll be a station there, so again no truck line. And then it's going to go up to a station at the back of Aspatria. And then on this side, we're going to take the Chudley goods line, the yellow line, and that's going to go down this side to a freight station for Chudley, and then it's going to link up with this line and go up here and round the back of Chudley. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. But okay, this spiral. Now, I said this was just temporary. This was literally just to enable me to hook these tracks up because there was no other way to do it. But I really do want to put one of these spiral. I'm going to call it spiral viaduct. I want to put one of these spirals in. Now I found kind of the perfect freaking place to do it down here, because what you want is kind of a natural bowl like this, and this is kind of perfect because you've got kind of a narrow entrance like this with steep sides on both sides, and then this kind of bowl, which is like kind of freaking perfect. Right, let's get rid of you. Get rid of these roads down here. Now, I kind of want to keep this road. Now, we're not actually using it. It's only being used by cars. There's no truck lines or anything on it. But I would kind of like to keep it if we possibly can. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Okay. So let's deal with this first, I guess. So yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is demolishing from here and pushing all the trains back, all the way back up to there. I think that's the smart way to do this. Yeah, let's do it. So, more demolition. So let's get rid of you. Goodbye. And then we can start. God, the time it took me to put all of this stuff in. And I'm just knocking it all down. Oh, that must be crazy. Actually, I think we established that fact quite a long time ago. Yeah, completely barking. God, I've got to do all the signals again. Oh no! No, not more signals, please, God. Oh man. I love the demolition noises though. The demolition noises are really good. It really does that sound like you're dynamiting it. Here we go. We're almost there. We're almost done. We've got that's all the demolition done. Right, excellent. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to reduce this station in size. We're only using 3 tracks. I can't actually show you now because obviously the lines are connected, so they won't show up. But we've got the Chudley goods lines are on these 2 tracks. Then this track isn't actually used, and then we've got the steel and grain going up this side and coming back down this side. So track 1 and platform 1 and platform 3, and then this platform 2 that is there in case I decide that I want to send stone up here to make construction materials. That's what that's for. So what we can do is, even keeping that, we can condense this to just 3 platforms. So what the hell are you? Oh yeah, chili grain, that's fine. That should be there. Okay, so we'll reduce this to 3 tracks, apply, cha-ching. Okay, excellent. What are you? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, good. Good. Because this is the point where the tracks are going to diverge. These 2 tracks are going to go around this way, and these tracks are going to go around this way. So, next thing we need to do is get rid of this road. That's the sharpest. That's like a pretty much 90 degrees, which I think we kind of need. I'm going to go for it. And we'll see. We'll see. So now that I've got that set up, so that's going to go around there, which is, I think, going to be kind of nice coming around here. And then we're going to have a curved station in here, then follow the mountains round. We'll have a station for this, but it's probably going to be elevated, like up here. And then the tracks going like I don't know, somewhere up here, and then like I said, this station's going to go away. We're going to have a station around here, and then let's have a little look at this. Where are we? Let's have a little look at this. How the hell am I going to do this? Well, now I'm going to do this so that it looks like that famous Swiss one, or I'm going to try to make it look like that. So what I'm thinking, let's assume that we're coming in kind of here, like this. I'm just going to kind of mock it up just so, just so you can kind of see. So what it does is it'll swing around this side. Now, is that maxed out? Yeah, that's maxed out. Good. So it'll swing around like that. Then it'll come round in a circle. Now, I would like to keep this up around sort of 50, but I don't know whether that's going to be possible. Now, let's see. We want to be... That's going up as high as it can, isn't it? Yeah. Let's take... is it? Okay, that'll do. Let's put that in. And this is what they do. That, like, when they're building these things, they try and take advantage of the natural terrain. That's why, like, a bowl like this is kind of perfect, because they can just build up the slopes, and they don't have to build expensive bridges. So we get up to this point. Now I think we're going to have to be a bit sharper to come around here. So we've got that nice old stone bridge. I like that. I'd love to get those pillars not like nicely balanced. Shall I bring this out maybe a little bit more? Ah, there we go. That's about as balanced as I'm going to get those pillars. Let's take that. Now, how high are we? Yeah, looking good, looking good. So we'll take that. And then I'll bring that around here like this. And I tell you what, we're not a million miles away from that famous one that I can't remember the name of. BRUSIO? Something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could bring this terrain up a little bit, which I'm kind of tempted to do. I'm actually very tempted to do. In fact, I'm going to do it. So, let's bring up this terrain a little bit. So, raise terrain. Let's have it on. Let's have this on low. Because I'll raise this and this. There we go. That should be more like it. So, bring you around. Yeah. This is what we want. So, yeah, so we've only got the expense of building this viaduct just on this little section. And that is pretty close. It's not like absolutely smack on, but it's pretty close. So we want to come, like, ideally, like in an ideal world, I'd love to come around the outside of here. Okay, let's plop that in. Now, if we bring this around here, yeah, because what I want is to like cut out some of the tunneling. Now this is the current passenger train. That's going to go away, and the passenger train's going to come down the centre of the valley, and it's going to look freaking awesome. So should we just bang that in? What do you think? I think we just go for it. How are we doing here? We could even come up a little bit. We came up kind of there. I'm looking at this and thinking, like, if I'd come out a little bit further, I could have gone round there. And just route it out a little bit further to say, maybe round like there. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's where we want it. What are we doing? 64. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's take that. Then we can have this. I think we want to come in. I think maybe slightly tighter than that. Just a fraction. Just a fraction tighter than that. So So like, if we bring it into like there. Yeah. Liking it. Now, do we want to gain a bit more elevation? I think we want to gain a bit more elevation if we can. What about if we come up like that? Yeah, I can make that work. All right, cool. And then we're obviously into this run over here, which is fine. And then somehow I've got to get it like down for this station and whatever. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be kind of fun to play with. And of course, I've got to somehow double track this as well. Which, yeah, no, that's all gonna work. I think. Yep. Cool. Sweet. Awesome. So there you go. Look at that. Oh, can you wait to see the trains going around there? It's gonna be freaking awesome. Oh man! All right, guys. I think at this point, it's time to switch to the time lapse and actually get this all built. And there is a lot to get done. There really is. The focus is going to be on trying to get the lines to take the best advantage of the terrain. But at the same time, just trying to exist with the terrain. It's a very difficult balancing act because the more you try and take advantage of the terrain to get like really good views, so you want to be like right on the edge of mountains, of hillsides and mountainsides, and just like clipping through little bits of terrain sticking out to get that little tunnel, and you know, having the track curving in the right places to get the views that you want. It makes it very difficult because you're then dealing with like the most extreme bits of terrain, which of course makes it kinda hard. But man, when it works, damn, it's good. Now here, I wanted to get this track to have like a relatively short bridge over the road. So I'm just playing around here, and I don't want it too high. I want it to be a relatively low bridge going over the road, but it's just a case of playing around with the terrain. By the way, I have no idea what those 3 marks were. They're not anything physical. So you can see that that bridge is a little bit long. So I'm just going to extend the terrain a little bit there to shorten the bridge. There we go. Wait till you see the rides. It's, oh, you're gonna like it. Yeah, this is a weird bit of terrain. I have no idea what was going on. I didn't delete anything, but it took me playing around to actually get that to go away. I don't know what the hell it was. Very weird. So yeah, and the other challenge, of course, is where I am like manipulating the terrain like in a fairly big way, getting it to look natural. Just double tracking the spiral. Oh my god, it looks so good. Wait to ride it. Oh my god. Oh, I did the last part of the video where I do the rides and stuff and looking around. I did that before I'm recording this, and I'm so pumped about how freaking cool it is. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it. The Chudley Valley is amazing. You wait and you see some of the views. When I show you the passenger train route, it is actually quite staggering how beautiful the scenery is. I mean, it is as beautiful pretty much as anything you can find in the real world. You know, when you're driving through somewhere like the Cotswolds or the Lake District in England, or the Yorkshire Dales or somewhere like that. I mean, it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm ripping out the old Chudley Burger line, which is the one where we're shipping cattle up and shipping food down. But I ended up putting that back in, but I'll talk to you about that later. Right now, this was... I kind of knew that this was going to be maybe a little bit difficult. Trying to get this track that's going down the right-hand side of the valley to do good things was always going to be tricky. And positioning this station, because it needed to be elevated, and this road was annoying because it was making the station too far away from the plastics factory. So I ended up playing around to make sure that the roads were actually going inside the factory. I got it eventually, but man, it was a freaking nuisance. There we go. So yeah, but this terrain is very uneven around here, and I wanted the line going along that little rock face. You see that little rock face there? But I had to play around with the station to get exactly the right line. Play around with the terrain a bit, because I didn't want the track to distort the terrain too much. And it did work out. This line's actually, like, when it's finished, and I did do a ride on it at the end, it does work out really, really well. It still needs some work after, even like when you see the rides, you'll see it still needs some work on the terrain. I mean, the whole Chudley Valley needs. It's all nuanced stuff. It's very small changes, but it's a lot of small changes just to make everything look absolutely perfect. But this has been worthwhile. And again here, trying to get around this corner was a nightmare, because you're trying to keep the track speed up. You're trying to kind of hug the edge of the... Oh, was it this one that was... Yeah, it was this one. Trying to get round here. Oh. It was painful. Because you get these, like, either... like really big drops, or you're going like into the cliff or whatever too far, or yeah, it's you can see I laid this track. I don't know how many times I laid this track trying to get around this corner, but it was a freaking nightmare. And in the end, I had to play around with the terrain just to get it to do anything kind of reasonable. And then now, so the first station that we put in was by the plastics factory. This is the machine factory. So this is creating machines and tools. So this one, not too difficult. I kind of knew that one was going to be like pretty easy. And then all we got to do is the final run up to Aspatria. And again, that corner there, you see how much of the cliff it's cutting, but there are limitations to what you can do. And here I'm just trying to get the nicest line and not cut too deeply into the terrain, and again, get the right angles that the track's following to give you the right views. It's all about the views. It's all about the Skye candy. But when it works, oh my god, the results are just awesome. So this is where we're kind of making the big change and putting the Aspatria freight station behind Aspatria. And I kind of figured out, like after I'd done it, that this is actually a pretty good idea, because this is going to keep Aspatria kind of contained. Unless I decide that I want it growing outside the tracks. Because we've got the railway like running all around the outside. So we can kind of contain the city within that, unless I decide that I want it to start growing outside of that area. And that creates some interesting opportunities, and hopefully it'll persuade the city to spawn more tall buildings, which I think is going to be kind of nice, because as you're coming up the valley, it'd be really cool to see those like skyscrapers in the distance. That would be really nice. I like that little bit of cliff there. I'm thinking of keeping that little bit of cliff. But you can see here, I'm going around and checking the views on all the lines. Now, when you see the rides, you'll see when I put this line in up here that it didn't actually join to the other track properly here, and you can see we've got the tracks at different heights. But I actually kept that. I talk about that at the end. So I won't say it now, but we'll talk about that more later. Right, so now I had to decide, okay, so what am I going to do with Chudleyburger? So it was a case of like, okay, where am I going to put the station? How am I going to get the station and the roads to work together? And like, am I going to share tracks? And yeah, there were a bunch of issues. And yeah. Let's say it didn't turn out the way I expected it to turn out. Is the easy answer. The thing, I talk about this a little bit at the end, but fundamentally, the food factory, when it's at max production with the type of wagons that we're using, needs a lot of trains running. It's a pure capacity issue. So in the end, I decided, because I wanted to leave myself a little bit of capacity on the other line, on the Aspatria, the Chudley Aspatria general line, that I would quad track it so that the food line would have its own separate line, its own separate tracks, I should say. And I was very much in two minds about that, and I'm still in two minds about it. But I thought, you know what? If I just throw it in, right, basically the same as it was before, and then if I change my mind or whatever, it's not difficult to just hook them up. You can see how the town is kind of just surrounded by the railway tracks. It's going to be interesting to watch that grow up, and I'm really looking for. There's so many things I'm looking forward to in the game now. You know, going to individual towns, and I'm starting to get little ideas for individual towns, and I'm getting ideas for individual little set pieces. I can't wait to do a stone quarry and stuff like that. Right, we're coming up to the end of the time lapse. We're just putting in the last bits of track. So I'm just bending the station around there so I can hook this up. Right, so now I'm going to go off and do lots and lots of tinkering, and then we'll come back and ride all the trains. And so, after much tinkering, we're done. Now, these are all the lines that were involved. So we've got 5 train lines and we've got 3 truck lines. So we've just got a truck line taking the stuff into Chudley. We've got a truck line taking the stuff into Aspatria. It doesn't actually go that far into Aspatria. Now, Aspatria long fuel. This is this ridiculously long truck line, which is taking fuel from this oil refinery over here, Honkelbriff A, all the way up to Aspatria, because we weren't getting fuel up to Aspatria. But now we're creating fuel at this oil refinery. I think we can get rid of this this long line. And I tell you what, it's got freaking loads of vehicles on it. Like, loads of vehicles. Like, what's it doing finances-wise? Yeah, it's been losing us like 4 or 5 million a year. So I think we'll get rid of that. So let's get rid of you. Let's bring up the line manager. What do we want? We want RF. What was it? Aspatria. RF, Aspatria, long fuel. Here we go. So let's sell all the vehicles. Cha-ching. And get rid of the line. Boom, done. All right, cool. So that leaves us, get rid of the trucks now, all that. So that leaves us with these train lines. So now what I did with Chudleyburger, I was originally going to have, like, move the station, like, I don't know, like over here or something, and have it going into this station, and then sharing this line going up here. But I decided against that because of the wagons that we're using, which are fairly low capacity. We have to use these to make sure that we get the cattle and not the grain. So they only ship like cattle and food. Because we're using those trains, we need like a fair amount of trains on here. So I didn't want to like impact. So for now, what I've done is I just put this back in. I switched it to a stone bridge to match with our viaduct over here, and then just ran it basically exactly the way that it was before, and then just linking up at this station, and then we're quad tracked up to Aspatria. So that's that. And then on the grain and steel, we can run it. Actually, you know what? If I bring that up, if you have the line manager up, I've only just figured this out after like 2,000 hours in the game or something. If you bring the line manager up, it actually shows you like the checkered patterns, so you can actually see what lines are using it. So we come up to here, and the Chudley grain stops at this station, but the steel just goes straight through, and then we whiz up to the machine factory, and the steel trains stop here and then go back. But the Chudley grain trains, they also stop at this station. They can carry machines and tools, which the steel trains can't. They pick up the tools and machines, take them up to Aspatria, where they can be distributed to Aspatria. They can also be shipped down the Chudley Aspatria general line to Chudley. The grain trains then come back to the machine factory. They stop again, where they can pick up more tools and machines, which they then bring all the way back down to Biggleswade to then be distributed to the rest of Southside. And I tell you what, it actually works pretty freaking well. So now let's see, what train shall we ride first? He said in a teasing manner, knowing that there's only one train that you guys want to ride right now. Right, let's close it all down. Let's go jump on a train and go on the viaduct. I know that's what you want to do. Now there is a train going up there, but we'll wait for this one to come down here, and we'll do a full-on ride. Here we go. So, train 21. Let's jump on board and have a really nice ride. Now, I haven't spent too much time on, I haven't done any decorating. I haven't done much in terms of making the terrain around the tracks the way it should be. So there's still a huge amount of work to do. Here we go. Look at that. I didn't realise you'd be able to see that bridge from here. That's awesome. Oh, look at this. I was right, by the way. I had a little check. It is the BRUSIO. The BRUSIO Spiral Viaduct, it's called. So we go over our little bridge first. Road going underneath. And then we go under the viaduct. Like, I'm sorry, but like, how can something so simple be so freaking cool? Listen to the sounds of the game. If you there's videos out there of the BRUSIO viaduct, and when they're going up there, they make all those little metal squealing sounds. This is so freaking realistic. I'm assuming that those sound effects are in the game because we've got tight corners. So I'm glad that I've actually made the corners tight enough to get that metallic squealing sound. That is a major bonus. And then we come out on this side. Oh, there's a passenger train down there. And there's our view of the Chudley Valley. And I'm very glad that I spent a bit of time. See, this terrain here needs to be lifted up I think just a touch. And maybe on this side, it needs to be taken down just a touch. I'm definitely going to do some tinkering around. We need trees, we need fields, all that kind of stuff. But we need to do the passenger line that's going to be going through the centre of the valley first. Oh, I will just make a mention. If you look at my frame rates, we're up around the 25 kind of level, which is fine. I'm happy with kind of anything over 20, and we're kind of bouncing around between 25 and 30 most of the time. A couple of people have left comments saying, "Oh, your frame rate's dying," and blah blah blah. Two things. Like, first of all, my frame rate hasn't changed a lot. In fact, my frame rate hasn't really changed at all since I've started putting in all these extra decorations and stuff. It's not about that. Like, adding extra trees and stuff, you know, and buildings and whatever, it doesn't affect my frame rate at all. With the GTX 1080, rendering that stuff is not a problem. What affects the frame rate? The game is CPU bound, or at least for me, it's CPU bound, and it's the more lines and the more track segments that you have, for example, where you're breaking it down with signals and all that kind of stuff, and the more vehicles you add and whatever, that is what takes away from the frame rate. But my frame rate's been the same. See, we're getting over 30 FPS at the moment, which is fine. And when I get a better CPU, which I am getting a new PC at some point, probably going to be, I don't know, October time, when the new Intel chips come out. We'll see what happens. Yeah, then I would expect that my frame rates will be like pretty awesome, which is what I want. For when I finally do all the ride videos, that's going to be epic, and it's also going to be a huge amount of work doing all those ride videos. But I'm going to love every freaking second of it, just riding around on the trains for hours and hours. That's going to be awesome. So here we are. We're up at Aspatria Station. What a lovely journey that is. You know what? I'm going to pause just for a second. I'm going to jump out. I'm going to ride that train back because I don't know about you. I want to go all the way back, and I want to go around the loop again. And I tell you what, after we've done it in first person, I'm probably going to ride just up the loop and then back down the loop in third person as well. I just want to show you what all of this is working towards. All of this is working towards changing this passenger line. Right now, currently this passenger line goes over here and then goes down there, and then from this tunnel entrance here, it's in a freaking tunnel all the way to Biggleswade, right? And whilst you do get, let me show you, whilst you do get kind of some of the views, so coming down here, you do get like quite a nice view on this top section, and then that's kind of it, right? Instead of that, what we're going to have is we're going to be coming right down the center of the valley. Now, just take a look at what's in store for us. So we'll be coming around here and then going right down the valley. And look, I mean, is that freaking beautiful or what? And we haven't even got all the fields and decorations and stuff going on. And there's going to be a lot of that going on. Let me just zoom out a tiny bit so we can go a little bit faster. So yeah, we're going to be winding our way down into the lowest part of the valley. So we'll probably deviate around here. We'll probably be going like a similar route to this road. And then like right down into the valley here. And then coming out into the sort of second half of the valley again. And then we start our climb up to the top and the exit from the Chudley Valley. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot freaking wait to have that journey. I am thinking we're probably going to have a tunnel going under this line, but I don't know. We may have a bridge going over that line, because I would like to avoid tunnels if I can, and just keep, because like when we come over the top here, I want to get this amazing view of Biggleswade. And like, as soon as you get down to this kind of level and you come up and say, like, that hill needs to go, right? That kind of lumpy hill, that needs to go away. Not completely, but it needs to be cut down, like probably to this kind of level. So that we can actually see the, because Biggleswade is going to be like one of our biggest cities, and we want to be able to see it. You know, when you come over here, you want to be able to see the full stretch of the city in front of you. That's what's going to be really cool. Right, shut up, Skye. Ride some freaking trains. Good point. Very good point. So, where are we? Here we go. I had a request to put some CSX trains on, so I put a CSX train on. There you go. Right, off we go. Let's speed it up so we can get out of the station. Here we go. Wow! Formula One trains. Let's whiz round it. Okay. Right, slow down, because we get some nice views. Chudley in the distance. But you see, going this side, you don't get those awesome views that you do going down the middle. I mean, it's cool, it's nice, I like it, but the really awesome view is just going down the centre of the valley, and that's what we want with the passenger trains. And what I'm thinking of, you know, I was going to have a heritage line on the other side of the valley. I think we might have a heritage line running alongside the main passenger line. Wouldn't it be cool? So they're like, you're riding along on a passenger train going through the valley, and then like coming in the opposite direction, you've got the Flying Scotsman. Wouldn't that be cool? And I think rather than like quad tracking it, we just have a single track, and we just have like one train running backwards and forwards between like Aspatria and Chudley. How would that be? You like that idea? I like that idea. And I like these two tunnels with just this little break in the middle. I didn't mention it on the way up, because I was yakking about something else, but it's very cool. I love little short tunnels like this. Don't like long tunnels, like little short tunnels like this, especially with like you get a little break. I like to be able to see the exit to the tunnel as soon as you get into the tunnel. That's good. Because otherwise you're just riding along in a freaking sealed tube and it's kind of boring. Look at the freaking view. And I love the fact that you can see stuff going on in the distance all the time. And we're going to have the passenger trains running up and down here, and we'll be able to see the Flying Scotsman running up and down sometimes. Yeah, little bits of the track need a little bit of work. But to be honest, not that much. The way I've managed to get this track laid out along the edge of those mountains, or hillsides, I should say, has really worked out, and this is just beautiful. Oh, I'm gonna spend some time decorating this. Listen to those squealing noises. This is the slowest part. This is where you get the squealing noises. That is just so cool. Love it when we pass another train. Oh man, that's, well, yeah, I mean that's freaking worked out perfectly as far as I'm concerned. I am tempted to relay this section so that it's not going up quite so much, it's a bit flatter. But I don't want that bridge going over the road to be too high. Let's jump out of there for a second. This where is it? Around here. Yeah, I don't want this road, this bridge over the road to be much higher. I mean, I wouldn't mind it being maybe a little bit higher, but not much. No, in fact, I don't want it any higher than that, because otherwise it's going to start looking silly. I mean, it's well above the height of any truck or anything that's going to go underneath, so wow. I can't believe that I managed to find like the perfect place. Pause. I just want to ride third person on this, so let's pop you down there out of the way. Yeah, let's ride it like this, I think. Here we go. Oh, you little beauty, you. What do you think, guys? We may need, like, if I can find, like, a good spot, we may need to have another one of these somewhere on the map. Like, up in Northside. Find a little spot for a steam train, heritage line. I think it needs to be done, doesn't it? Man, that's good. Oh, freaky perfect. You know what? Let's jump onto this one. Go back up. Let's get rid of you. Talking about frame rates, by the way, one of the things that if you see that my frame rates are dropping down, I don't mean little spikes, but like if you see it like dropping consistently below 20, down to around sort of between 10 and 15, usually that's, in fact almost always, that's because I've been playing the game for a very long time, and I mean like 5 hours plus, and the game definitely slows down. The game definitely slows down. I mean, I do get little spikes where it'll drop down or whatever. And depending on exactly what's going on the screen, you sometimes get it dropping down. But generally it's between 20 and 40 frames per second. You won't see it go above 30 because I'm FPS limited. I've got FPS limiting turned on. So it won't go above 30 while I'm recording. When I'm not recording, it's usually around between 30 and 40 frames per second. Oh, look at the freaking views. So now I'll just mention, when I do the ride videos, I've mentioned this before, but for anybody kind of new, when I do the ride videos, what I'm going to do is record the journey, and I'll record the journey like start by recording a journey in first person, then reload the game to work to like a save point, and then do it like probably in third person, something like this, and do it and then reload it again, record it in first person, something like this, and then also do some static shots, you know, like things like tunnel entrances and bridges and stuff. Do a few static shots like this, and then edit it all together, so that you get like hopefully really nice journeys. Oh, we haven't got much time left. I should shut up. Is there anything else I want to show you? You know what? Let's jump on this train for a second, just as it's going around this corner. Yeah. See, when I was laying these lines in, what I was working hard was to get these vistas, to get these views. And this line has turned out to be pretty darn good. You get some really nice views up to Aspatria coming through here. And you get a real appreciation of how high up this is. And this was accidental, having these tracks at different heights, but I love it. I love that. Right, a steel train coming into the machine factory. So we're going to stop here. But I might just jump out and see if I can grab a Chudley grain train. Is there a Chudley grain train anywhere? The views, I think, on this line are much better going up the line than they are coming down. You know what? Let's jump on this one instead. I was gonna take a Chudley a grain train up here, but to be honest, until this is decorated, once you kind of get past this point, it's a little bit less attractive up here. It's much better when you're looking in the opposite direction. So let's see. Now, really, we want to see it from kind of up here. Let's speed it up. Let's find a train that's going down from here. So we want a Chudley grain train that's going down here. Come on, where are you, trains? Here's a Chudley grain train, I think. Oh, no, that's a... Oh, it is yeah, that is a grain train. We want another one coming up. Come on. Here it comes. Are you... Yeah, that's the one we want. You know what? Like, since we're waiting for it, might as well actually ride on board, mightn't we? Here we go. And of course it stops. Come on, move. Go, go, go. I mean, the only cool thing about this section is the fact that you do see all the other trains. And when we've got the passenger trains coming through the middle, I mean, that's the passenger train at the moment. But this section of track here, when we come round the other way, should be quite impressive. I certainly hope so. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to show you about, like line profitability and like, you know, some stats and show you how things are working and whatever. We'll wait for the next video because let's face it, we just want to ooh and ah and like ooh shiny for a bit and just enjoy it, right? So, should we be third person or should we be first? But it's first person. Okay, so here we go. It's this bit. God, we're going fast. 70 miles an hour. And here we go. This is the view. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, when it's all decorated. God, this is going to be incredible when it's all decorated. Assuming that I don't do a half-assed job of it, of course, which, you know, it's not a foregone conclusion. We'll see. But again, when you ride the trains, you can see that probably needs a bit of work. Well, I don't know. That it does need a bit of work. One way or another, it needs a bit of work. And you can see, like, the tree line here needs to be a bit higher to hide that line. That line, it needs to be broken. The trees need to be kind of up and down a bit, but covering this grey line where the mock snow meets this kind of, yeah, that line. Just shut up, Skye. Just say that line. Yeah, that line. See, don't you like this? I love this separate track height, and I love the steep sides. Because it allows you to see down. Oh, and when you get a train go, oh man, a steel train. Look at all the different steel we've got going on there. Freaking awesome. Yeah. Okay, I freaking love the redevelopment of the Chudley Valley. And I love the fact that we've now got these stone bridges that don't have the speed limitations of the old stone bridges. So, I mean, I think that's really nice that we can have that kind of feel of stone bridges, but we're not hampered by speed limits. If I bring up the, this is something else that I wanted to go around and show you all the speed limits and everything, but we just don't have time in this video. In fact, that's all the time that we have. In fact, I've already gone over about 5 minutes longer than I meant to. So there you go, guys. Let's go up this end. Let's end with the freaking beautiful view down into the Chudley Valley. We have finished. We've finished the freight redevelopment of Southside. There's going to be one or two minor tweaks, but that's it. Southside is done from a freight perspective. So now we can, well, not necessarily the very next thing that we're going to do, but we're now free to work on the passenger lines. Then that's it. We just decorate it all up and we're done in Southside. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I had an absolute freaking blast. I loved riding on that spiral. Want to have one last look? One last look at the spiral? Maybe from this side, because I haven't really looked at it from this side. There you go. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this and sharing this with me. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. And I'll catch you for the next one. You know what? I could sit and watch this for hours. I really could. Alright. Peace out.